Our sponsors for this episode are Harder Custom Welding. Looking for quality welding with a personal touch? Harder Custom Welding specializes in steel fabrication and repair of all kinds. From fencing and livestock systems to custom lawn and garden decor, they bring craftsmanship and experience to every job. No job is too small. From simple fixes to complex builds, they're here to help. Based out of Newton, Kansas, mobile welding services are available to meet a wide range of needs. You can give them a call at 316-217-3819 to bring your project to life. Also, visit them on Facebook at Harder Custom Welding, Harder Custom Welding. Shamrock Car Wash. Shamrock Car Wash has 3 convenient locations in Newton, Wichita, and Mays. They were also voted Best Car Wash in Harvey County for 2024. Shamrock Car Wash offers your traditional hands-on wash bays, but also touts an in-bay touch-free wash and dry for an effortless clean. Make sure to look them up and follow them on Facebook at Shamrock Car Wash. That's Shamrock Car Wash, or you can visit them online at theshamrockcarwash.com. That's theshamrockcarwash.com. The Newton Kansan is Newton's longest-running local newspaper covering all the stories, people, places, and things happening in our community. Chad Fry, the Kansan guy, editor of the Kansan, works diligently to ensure integrity, accuracy, and unbiased news is delivered to your doorstep 3 times a week for an unbeatable price. You can also sign up for online-only access for around $7 a month. That's 12 online papers a month for only $7. If you've not subscribed, it's time you do. Visit them in their office at 517 North Main Street. That's 517 North Main Street in Newton. Online at thekansan.com. That's thekansan.com. Or give them a call at 316-283-1500. That's 316-283-1500. Support local journalism, support the Kansan. Well, hello, everybody, and hello, Andy and Chad. How was your guys' week this week?
I'm going to take a pass.
Pass.
I'm just not going to comment on my week.
It was that good. That good. That's awesome, Chad. It was that good. That
sure,
was that good.
We'll go with that.
It's been crazy good, man. Yeah. Coming out that 4th of July weekend, just good energy. Lots of phones ringing. Business is very stable right now, thank God, because we were struggling for a while, as most businesses do, up and down, left and right. Working on some interesting projects I'm really excited about. I'm getting involved in some big projects in the other areas in our state that are pretty fun. And it's nice to meet people from different places, different perspectives. Just a real quick cap. I'm walking on a job site. It's an Amazon plant in Salina by the airport out there. We've got some stuff to do there. The developer, or the guy who's in charge of the project, says, it's a real small project, not a big deal. This is a small one. And I'm thinking, think about the frame of mindset when you're sitting at a facility that's that big. For them, it's just a small build. So it's pretty wild. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Just perspective is important.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. About my week. I said a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week. I don't know. I'm kind of on this trend of, it's about perspective, mindset, perspective. You can have low times, you're gonna have high times. I think that's just how life is. I'm somebody that would prefer just an even, consistent level, thing, but that's not how it works. And there's always going to be opportunities for this to happen or that to happen, a car breakdown. Life happens to us all, and it really does. I'm going to say it again: attitude of gratitude. If we focus on the positive and we focus on the things that we have, that we're blessed with, then it usually will turn out. It will almost always turn out that you can find so many more things to be thankful for and blessings that are in your life, even when you're in troubled waters, than you'll ever have if you make a list for just what problems are. And then just piggybacking once again, like I said, off what Andy said, which is, just apply that situation to life, right? Where, I call it making a mountain out of a molehill, okay? You may be on this situation where this, and I don't know, but this might be a really big project. But for somebody else, it's a small project. So if we're able to keep a perspective in such to say that, although this might be a big lift for you, this might be small potatoes for somebody else. And that's why communication and relationship are so important and then having an open mind to learn. So there's my words of wisdom. I could have just said that was the final word or whatever.
I feel smarter today.
Hey, don't we all? That's how much of a bullshitter I can be. Sound smart, dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, I would say like my biggest challenge is social awareness. Right? Like, okay, so let's just go into this. Okay, my challenge, one of the things that I try to work on is social awareness where, like, I'm OCD, right? So if I think it just sits there and it just rotates and rotates and rotates and rotates. It just got to say it, right? And so then when I'm saying something, and especially with social media, it's difficult because, you don't know inflection. So social media is a lot of projection. Right? If I'm reading something that somebody says, I don't know how or the feeling or the intent behind what they're saying actually is. So I'm projecting onto that my own thinking as to, well, this person was angry when they said, and we bypass that real quick. Okay, so vulnerability here. What is a challenge for you all?
A challenge for me?
Yes, just a challenge that you're trying to work on in your life so that you can be a better person, assuming that all people are constantly trying to self-improve in some way.
Focusing on myself. I don't worry about where everybody else is at in their walk. A challenge for me is seeing somebody with a lot of talent and ability choosing to project and push everything off on everybody else and never focusing on their next best step.
That's deep. I'm just gonna say that's deep. So listen.
So what's
to
my next
listen
best
to
step?
What?
We can get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it live. Do we really let the cards out at that point in time right now? Chad, challenge for you, self-improvement. What do you got?
Negative thinking.
Ooh, yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, perspective.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's the lifelong challenge.
Yeah. Do you
It's
think,
very easy to go boom down there and to never come out of it.
well, and I got a question here because I want to pick your brain just briefly about this. Because that's your challenge and that's what you work on, do you find that because it's like negative thinking spirals out of control real quick?
Oh,
where
yeah.
If I become negative about a situation, i.e., we all know we've all had car troubles before, so my car breaks down. Negative thinking instead of, and it's hard to be optimistic in that situation, but let's just say, man, my day just got ruined. Everything in my life just got really difficult. We all rely on vehicles, the whole thing. We all been there. We all know this, right? So then when you start thinking negatively, doesn't that then spill over to every other thing, and it compounds and compounds and compounds until the point where you're unable to see anything positive, always seeing in that situation, in that moment, maybe for a period of time, everything through a negative lens?
What you focus on grows. How you see yourself
What
controls
dog
you on
you
a governor
feed?
on a car.
Yeah.
What you focus on grows. So once you give credence to those negative feelings, and we all have them, mind you, all of us. It's just the habit patterns after we get that initial jolt. Where are we going to take that feeling? Are we going to continue to let it compound on us? Or are we going to do like hell and pull up on that joystick and try to get up as hard as we can, knowing that a lot of times we're still going to scrape the ground.
Yeah.
And we have habit patterns built in. I do too, and I'm still working on these things. And there's some things that I just ask God and people that love me to forgive me, as I'm just who I am, and I'm trying to be my best, but sometimes my best sucks.
Yeah.
In some areas of my life, right? Some areas I do really good, and some areas I suck. And the people that know me know I'm very open about my issues. And if you don't have my number, or you can't text me, I don't care what you think about me.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah.
If you can't text me, you don't know me well enough to make a judgment call. And if you do, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of asking and trying to understand. See, there's just so much. Chad, I did ask you, so I want to give you the opportunity to answer that. Do you find that when your challenge is to have positive thinking over negative, right? And being a negative Nancy, if you want to call it that, okay? I use that terminology with my kids. But does that then create an environment in which you're jaded and only can see things through a negative perception if you don't pull out?
To be brutally honest and incredibly personal about it, I struggle every minute of every day. The idea of just pulling out of it, I struggle every minute of every day.
Well, and a word of encouragement to you, okay? Because I think, like we said, we all have struggles, and what you said, I can apply to my life as well. Very personal. I mean, in a world in which we live today, right? And we didn't expect to go here on the program as far as discussing philosophy and personal life and stuff, because we usually have like a format. But I think it's important just with the reality of the time we live in. There is so much negativity feeding us all the time. We've talked about algorithms, social media. I've talked to people that are just like, I put the social media down because all that was happening was I was getting fed things that just pissed me off.
Well, you realize that is a formula, right?
Rage bait. We've talked about that.
It is it's an algorithm.
People, you get a hold of somebody's emotion.
And you will hear people unpack stuff about the deep state and how Israel was the header of 9/11, and how it was all this, and the way they unpack this and the way they connect the dots, and they're just totally blind to any reasonable question that takes them away from the narrative that they've pursued in their mind.
Yeah.
Their algorithms, a lot of these people have taken them there, and they don't even know that they were taken off a highway intentionally, because your attention to whatever media that's in front of you, whatever outfit that you're looking at, whatever logo is in front of that thing that you clicked, knows that feeling will keep you on there longer.
Yeah.
And it will get that advertiser or that blurb more money for that system. It gives zero craps about you and how you think about your neighbor. Mm-hmm. And we don't understand that as a whole yet.
No.
So it is a scary time.
And it comes
on top of us already having, a lot of us, issues in different ways. Yeah. We all have issues.
Well, insecurities, right? Even like think about how it plays on your insecurities, and that's why we talk about Instagram being horribly damaging to the mental health of young ladies.
It attacks them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's this perception that they're feeding you, right? Like, for instance, two things. Communications, right? So through my education, I took a lot of communications courses. I taught public speaking at Wichita State University. So I'm going to do one before the other. But marketing, the only time you can really effectively market something to somebody or sell something to somebody is if you can present it in a way that they're lacking whatever it is that individual might need. And that's not always negative. But when we talk about being in a hyper-consumption environment like we are in the United States, then what happens is well, then the game is on to make you feel like you are inadequate or don't have what it is that I have to sell you, so then you can be better, or you can do this or that or the other. Also, this rage bait and all this, if communications, public speaking 101 was, and I would always tell my students this, what you're trying to do is invoke, honestly, an emotion, right? You can identify with people, shared experiences, that's number one, sights, smells, sounds. You try to invoke the senses, but then you also try to invoke the emotion, right? So there's something called like a call to action. If you're trying to persuade someone to do what you want to do, them to do, us to do, whatever the case may be, then one really effective way to do that is not pull on the heartstrings, because that's one emotion, right? But what you want to do is describe something in a way you want to try to get this person's emotions involved, because we as emotional beings tend to allow emotion to override logic. And then when you have that going and somebody has surpassed this, you've surpassed this critical thinking, right? Like when somebody's not sitting there saying, well, why am I thinking this? Why is this emotion happening in me? And then you're already in. So, okay. We ready to start the program now, guys? Okay, okay.
Yeah, ready to start.
Okay,
but what about the Epstein files?
We're going to talk about that on the program later today, because we've got to talk about it.
I want to know where the missing 3 minutes of video is.
Hell, let's just go for it. Let's go for it right now.
You just want to jump in?
Let's do it. We can. If stay tuned in the program for later, we'll do the events calendar and what's going on in the cans and locally and stuff. But we were talking before the program, and we always throw jokes out at each other because, there are times where we'd like to cover national issues, right, or what's going on at a state level. But
that is so crazy, though. This one is crazy.
This one's crazy.
This one is the biggest fumble of the Trump administration up to this point, hands down, no pass go. And then for him to try to speak away as if, oh, you're still worried about that. Now, if you look at all his top 20 promises, that is literally not in the top 20. It was more of people wanted him to do it, or people around him that he brought in said they were going to do it. So he didn't give that promise.
But there was the illusion that is
100%. Yeah. But then that goes into this thing you're talking about, this manipulation, this marketing, this master stage that he knows how to create, where he had a lot of people thinking a lot of different things to bring them into his fold to get those votes. And at the end of the day, yeah, he's doing some of the stuff and there's a lot of things that he's doing that he said he was going to do for sure. I mean, the borders are closed and all these things that needed to happen. But big picture, that was a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah. I wanted to know.
And the fact, I think there's people that need to be going to prison over this stuff, just like the local blow Joe like you and me would be getting all thrown up under the bus.
Yeah.
Why? Because you have influence. Do you not have the same consequence?
I mean, I want to take it to another level. And full disclosure, this is my own personal opinion in free speech. Okay, so I'm allowed to do that.
We're going to get tanked on the algorithms, but do it, baby.
Well, not only that, but I'm not trying to get
Do you have that other account still just in case?
Okay, and who knows, depending upon how the algorithm's been, this might just put us up there in the top, type of thing. But for real conversation...
Joe Rogan, watch out, we're coming for you.
We're gonna be Joe Rogan. Next. Patrick McDavid, look out.
Come on, baby.
Yeah. So anywho, okay. My first inclination, my first thought, totally disclaimer here. My thought is, well, the reason that it's not being released is because of the names that are on it that people don't want people to know are on it.
Yeah,
I think that might include up into even being Trump. Now, I've said this on a many occasion about the Epstein Island and all this. It's kind of like a football game, right? Even though you go to a football game, it doesn't mean you're getting drunk. Okay, so just because you went to the island doesn't mean that you engage in the nefariousness of that. I have enough critical thinking skills to say one doesn't always mean the other, but there's enough there to ask the question, well, what actually transpired there? And we can't say we actually know. It could have been, if you go, that's what's there.
We don't know. And I think I never thought, my thinking is, war game this, right? I never thought Trump was on that list. I know they tried to imply, and they showed pictures of him with Epstein. He actually didn't like Epstein. He banned him from Mar-a-Lago in 2012 because of an issue that happened with one of his massage girls, actually, and he banned him from all his properties at that point, and they became not friendly after that. And I always thought that was kind of a telltale sign that that's when he really ran into some of the, there may be more going on. This guy just likes young girls and the young 20-something girls. This guy likes young girls, right? Like, this is a problem.
And sort of a clientele.
But, and then I also thought, if the Democratic Party had knowledge of this, it would have been dropped like a bomb so he didn't get elected, which for sure would have changed my view on him either. I don't know if Kamala would have still been better, but whatever, right? Yeah. They did that to themselves. So I thought that would have already happened. But now, right now, I'm going, is he on that damn list? Is there stuff where they're protecting him now because he's the world leader right now and they're putting this under the rug? Like, this is the first time I've really thought, for me, that is on the table in my world now.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you.
And I'm going, how many other people will this freak us out if we find out who those names are on the table that who does it have to be for us to be doing this?
Probably a lot of world leaders.
So, I mean, you're getting to, and you hinted at, where I've been for a really long time, because I've watched this whole thing play out, and I'm like, who all is on that list?
Who is it?
Because if you're on it, you're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
And neither party can get anything done about it.
That's right.
So that means both
And now
sides.
the Republicans are voting against that list coming out.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
After years of talking about how they want this list out there. They want it. Now,
and I believe 20 to Andy numbers. 20
and
to 30% of moderates
I'm being straight
voted for Trump because of
he was going to bring
this
everything-
list.
bring everything that was in darkness.
So
to
that you
light.
got a 20 or 30%, in my opinion, the moderate chunk that could have gone either which way, that aren't in the everyday, that aren't in these ecosystems, that go, that's really important. And why are these people over here not wanting that to come out? And so they move strong this way. And guess what? Now this group of jerks is doing the same thing that group of jerks was doing. And that tells me this uniparty that we hear
Mutual
is
assured
so
destruction.
real
Yes.
at the
Yes.
Washington level.
Yes.
This is like in your face, game over. That's it. Game over. No more of this conspiracy crap.
No, it's on Front Street.
Dude, game over. The parties are full of it.
Yeah.
In Washington.
I call it mutual assured destruction. It's where it's this two-party system where if the Republicans don't win, they're fine with the Democrats being in control, because the Democrats are fine that if they don't win, they're fine with the Republicans being
when
in
it comes to
control.
this level of stuff
Yes.
that we will never unpack.
Yes.
This is on Front Street. This is a symptom of who knows how many other folders are out there that we will never see, that we never even come to the day, because they protect themselves against us, the people.
Yes.
So we really don't have the voice we think we have.
Yeah.
And that is so destructive
Well,
to
and that
my
comes down
talk
to-
about not wanting to go down the negative tree.
Borderline,
I mean, that
okay, well,
hurts.
borderline. Okay, so here's a positive, optimistic approach.
Come on,
to it.
baby.
This is coming to light. Once something comes to light, you can't unsee it. Once a truth is spoken, even though you don't like the truth, doesn't change the fact that it's truth. And truth will prevail. So if there's something that's not true, that first appears to be that way, then time tells exactly whether it is true or not. So the fact that we are in process, that this is coming out, that people are asking this question, that this really is a big enough deal at this point in time that people are scratching their head and they're starting to use that lump that's 3 feet above their ass, and they're starting to think, wait a second here. We're sitting here talking about it. You can't tell me that people are not having this conversation. And I see it happening. And I go back to the fact that it's because people on both sides of the aisle's name are on it. I think it would surprise a lot of us because of this going back to marketing, going back to the communication I just talked about. Something that Trump does very well is market himself. He's a brand. He did this for many, 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 many years. He's a brand. So to think that there's not a multi-million-dollar paid marketing agency on the back end to build the Trump brand up into being elected in public office, we will be lying to ourselves. And if people really understood how much money's involved, it goes back to, I'm not going to say that every nonprofit group or entity that the Democrats were using for shell money to pay this, to pay that, or whatever. And we heard all that come out, and that was all going to come to light. We were going to stop all that from happening, and that was another reason why people voted the way they voted, was because they saw these extreme cases of, wow, $1 billion tax dollars went to XYZ agency, and then the only thing that happened was elected official XYZ's children are the executors of that nonprofit, and they're raking in $250 million a year, and it's like a shell of a shell of a shell of a shell. Well, to say that it's only one side doing it versus the other, that's just incorrect, and we've got to get out of this cycle. Like I look at this point in time, and I'll just say it, excuse my profanity here or whatever the thing, but I am so sick and tired every 4 years of being forced to eat a shit sandwich. I feel like I'm voting for the lesser of two evils, in my opinion. There's some strategy there, but I'm open enough to know that, okay, well, just because somebody says it doesn't make it so. I watch this war game. I watch all this, and I just constantly feel like when it comes to politics, we're getting a shit sandwich. We're forced to eat it. Not participating is just as bad as participating in the game.
I was so hopeful that I like the idea of what Trump represented outside of some of his personal stuff, but as a leader and as a champion for America and as an America first archetype, to figure out how to get our house in order so we can get back out and do what we do on the bigger scale, because we need some work internally. And I am now realizing as embarrassing as this is, that was just a big stage New York marketing schema at the highest levels to win a campaign. And yeah, there are things getting done that I agree with, for sure. But it's just sad to me, and Lance, I connect with what you're saying. It's like there's a little bit of I wish that was real, but it's just a stage.
Well, there probably is an element of some of it is real. I mean,
he almost did get shot in the head.
Yeah.
I don't think you can not say that didn't happen. That wasn't like some of these people that still think that was a show.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's like you're going to let somebody shoot with an AR from that far away to clip your ear.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
but that didn't happen. That never happened.
Oh, it was staged, though.
Yeah, it was staged because he had a ketchup packet that he threw up there, and then
and the guy behind him that was. Yeah,
that never happened.
3 people.
Oh, we forget about that. But here's the interesting thing. I saw something on social media circulate, and I wonder, man, how dumb does somebody have to believe just to believe this? And no offense to you if you believed it or whatever, but they had a picture of Evander Holyfield's ear so many years after Mike Tyson took a chunk out of it, and then they had a picture of Trump's ear that supposedly had an AR-15 bullet rip it apart, and so that just shows it's not true. It's not true. Been lied to.
That's true.
Chad, you're sitting real quiet over there. Are you trying to mitigate for the cans in here? Be like, damn, this call is not going to be good. What does Chad think? Come on, Chad. Get it out there. Just put it in a positive light.
Put what in a positive light?
Everything we just talked about. Sum it up.
Well, if you're tired of the crap sandwich you're having to eat every 4 years, maybe you should try eating it in 2.
I mean, there you go. I'm not disagreeing with you. And it's 6. However the cycle is.
And seriously, for me, it's not about any one man.
No.
And if the Epstein thing doesn't show you that it's not about one human being, nothing will.
That's hard for me. Just to be straight up, and I know it's embarrassing. I'm saying it out loud. I got to take responsibility. Chad, I feel frustrated. I feel lied to. I feel disappointed. And I'm going to wear it. I'm going to take responsibility for it.
You are feeling what me personally has felt for decades.
Ouch.
Decades.
I was hopeful.
No winning.
I'm tired of it. And it's not about, and interest, full disclosure, I do not love Donald Trump. I have never voted for him. I never will. But there's also people on Capitol Hill, Ron Estes. I've never voted for him. I never will.
Damn, we were going to have him on the program.
He's gone now.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, because nobody's got any balls anymore. You're not allowed to say something that I don't like. I'm just not participating.
We can go back.
I got no nuts.
We can go back in history. Todd Tiehart. I never voted for him. I never will. Sam Brownback. I never voted for him. I never will. Over and over and over and over again, we have people that are being elected to power that guys like me look at them like, no. Oh, heck no. And here they sit in positions of power. And it's over and over and over and over. And it's from state to state to state to state to state. And I'm going to say it again. If this whole Epstein thing doesn't show people that they're all involved in one way or another, what will? At some point. So now we have to eat that sandwich. We need to be eating that sandwich again in about a year and a half. We have midterms coming.
Yeah. And here's my thing. Okay. Yes.
And we're just changing the figurehead at the top does nothing.
What if he's going to love this one. You ready to get into a fight? What if we bring in Tucker Carlson?
Oh, God.
I'll say
Come
this.
on, Tucker.
I got some mad respect. You know,
And then his VP is going to be Candace. Oh,
yeah.
baby.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Give me some of that sauce.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. As much as I love Tucker, okay, right, type of thing.
He has yet to do anything that I feel would qualify him for an office.
Dude, he's punching people in the face
he
right
is
now.
right now. Yeah,
He ain't backing on any which side. He's punching everybody in the face.
No, he's not. He's punching everybody.
He's punching everybody. If you say something, this Epstein thing, friend or no friend, or used to be a friend of Donald Trump, he's punching.
Yeah. Well,
he's calling it out.
Yeah.
Exactly how it is. Exactly. And with this guy, I honestly will tell you, I feel like he's one of the straight up people that people don't like him because he just says it how he thinks it. And he's a little brass and pompous about it because he's grown up privileged.
Yeah.
And he admits it. And, you know, he's a little bit more of a prepper than I would like for a guy with that much influence. You know, the prepper type, conspiracy type, when he didn't used to be like that. But the world has broken his brain so bad because of this kind of crap.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's punching people in the face right now. It doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right. They're all kind of going, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
He's looking for people to call out.
Well, and how long do you think that's going to last before, I mean, honestly, in this cancel culture, they'll just be like, don't go on the Tucker Carlson program. He's going to say, it's even happened at this level, fellas. I'm telling you right now.
Here's the other question.
Well, we don't like something you said, so then we're just going to make it to where we don't come on. It's like what? You know? Like, is there no forethought when it comes to people have the ability to believe and think what they want and they can say what they want, and that's not a reflection on me? You know, it's not a reflection on me. But how long do you think it's going to take, Andy, before, like, I saw the Ted Cruz one, I was like, oh my God,
he nailed him.
He is going, and that guy just kept getting more and more pissed off, which really showed, in my opinion, Ted Cruz's colors.
Well,
right?
The first time I saw it at that level, because he thought Tucker was going to go with the talking points of the party. And Tucker was like, oh, no, I'm not letting you get away with that.
Yeah.
Tell me how. Tell me who. And he kept drilling him.
And everything he said, he just kept digging a deeper.
And then later he's talking about the debrief when he talks about, that's why I tell you all, they're slimy, scummy people. Yeah. I don't like sitting down with politicians. I almost don't like any of them. Yeah. And he's saying it out in the open, and he's honest. And then he just nails one that comes that thinks, oh, this is an audience that supports me.
Yeah.
And after that interview, he chopped him up and threw him in the ocean.
This would be a low ball interview.
And I'm going, yeah. And Tucker was like, nah, I just called you out for all the things I've been looking at you, and I called you out on some things like Dan Crenshaw. I used to like Dan Crenshaw until Tucker unpacked him for me, and I go, oh, Tucker, you're just pissed off at him for some personal reason. And then you start really watching with the eyes that Tucker unfolded as a journalist, and you're going, oh, he saw all that. I had no idea. I had the guy's book and his signature. I was all proud of it. Now I'm like, that's going on the bottom right corner of my bookshelf.
Do you think, okay, and I
unfollow on Instagram.
I don't remember what I was watching, or I wish I could pull it out of the brain here. But it was basically that their profession, and I won't call it prophecy, but their profession was to believe that 2025 into 2026 is going to be the years that the scales fall off the eyes, where everything that we thought was up, we're going to find out was down. Everything that we thought was left will be right. Everything is coming from darkness to light. And, you know, AI has a part in that, I believe. I believe that
it's programmed, by the way, just so everybody knows.
Yes.
It's a program.
Yes.
It is inputted by human beings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
so we know.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else you guys want to say about anything before we get on with the program the normal way? Okay. So I told you that we'd be doing the events calendar. July 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. Coffee and Coloring, Norm's Coffee Bar, 613 North Main. Third Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. Art Walk downtown. Had a update with Kelsey Weaver with the Newton Area Chamber of Commerce that talked about that. They got some really cool things going on with the Art Walk and live music. And so third Thursday, get out there. And it's all ages, right? They even have stuff for the kiddos. So if you think that's something that, you know, you don't want to drag the kiddos to because they just make life more difficult at times. I know I've got some that there's even things for them there. 7 to 9 p.m. Newton Chess Club is at Salt and Light Confections, 1011 Washington Road. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Club provides the boards, or you can bring your own if you got one that you like. Everybody who plays chess knows they got their board that they like. They might have 5 of them, but they got their most special one. You know, like mine is my gold and silver one. No, I'm just joking. Okay, anyway, so moving on. July 18th, Matilda the Musical by the Newton Community Theater at Crable Auditorium, Bethel College, 300 East 27th Street, North Newton. That once again will be on July 19 at 10:30 a.m. And then again, you can go to, let's see here, from 1 to 3 p.m., there's an author visit. Jim Ross and Shelley Graham, authors of Route 66, The First 100 Years, is at Faith and Life Bookstore, 606 North Main. At 1:30 same day, Matilda the Musical will be at the Crable Auditorium, Bethel College. 5 p.m. is live music. Girl Named Tom is at Bethel College, Green, 300 East 27th Street, North Newton. July 19th, 6 to 8 p.m., opening reception for Three Generations Carriage Factory Art Gallery, 128 East 6th. July 20th, from 1 to 6 p.m., there's a cornhole tournament at Sand Creek Event Center, 1600 South Anderson Drive. It's a fundraiser for Comfort Care at Homes. Food, drinks, raffle prizes, and live music. Registration is $50. Last but not least, we'll go the same day, 7 p.m., Matilda the Musical by Newton Community Theater, Crable Auditorium, Bethel College, 300 East 27th Street, North Newton. So they give you a lot of opportunities to get out there and see the musical, support local. There's so many things that are going on. I pulled this from the Kansan. Subscribe to the Kansan. If you have an activity going on, we'll say it again. Email Chad. Tell him what's going on. You can also look at Choose Newton. There's so many ways that you can reach out and find out all the things that are going on in the community. There is so much to do. You can't do it all. And that's a good place to be. So, without further ado, Chad, what's in the Kansan?
Where to start?
Epstein files? No.
He can tell you what will not be in the Kansan.
We
Love it.
we stay away from the Epstein files.
Oh, man.
School bond issue. There's a hot one for you.
Oh, Andy.
So
Andy.
They're getting things cranked up, and they had a discussion this week about what the mill levy would have to do to raise different levels of money for a bond issue. And I'm telling you, this school board has some really tough decisions coming because the needs are great, and the needs are end of life needs. God, I hate that phrase.
Now, I got a question. I'm sorry, Chad.
Sorry, that one's kind of hitting a nerve with me on a personal level right now. But the stuff is wearing out, and it either needs to be replaced or shut down. That's the reality, and the price tag for that stuff is not small. So we've got to deal with that over the course of the next few weeks, and the board is going to do that. So,
speaking of that, and I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, but I just got a quick question. Will you have an article in the Kansan, or basically to simplify it? I always want to know this, right? If one option is to have, let's say, $20 million. It means that your mill levy is going to be raised by $2. How much money is that on $100,000?
Yeah, no, I explained that in the article that I wrote.
Okay.
About the Monday night.
Okay, and that was in yesterday's paper.
It should be in. Let's see, it was on Monday night. It should be in on the Thursday paper. Actually,
so
it's online already, or it should be.
Okay, very good.
You start losing count of things that you've written because you write a lot.
Yeah.
So what else is in there? Elizabeth Bachman. So that was one that I wrote that I had a lot of fun with, and I hope people will take a look at. She's an extremely talented young artist from Heston, who is right now, as we speak, at the New York Art Institute, doing a I think it's like a 4-week intensive training Normally reserved for folks who have earned their bachelor's, and she's doing this right after her sophomore year at K-State.
Oh.
So she kind of big deal.
Yeah.
And what she's been doing is super cool. Over the last couple years, she's been doing portraits of married couples during their wedding with everybody watching.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. She's up front or somewhere in the sanctuary as the vows are being said, and she is doing the portrait of the wedding. It's
Wow.
I think that is just truly amazing.
I was gonna say she's got to be top shelf talent.
That's like AGT. Let's get her on AGT, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. But
A lot of skill sets to be able to pull that off and still blend, but yet get your job done all at the same time in such an intimate environment.
yeah.
Chad, you ought to reach out and see if you can't do an interview with her when she gets back.
We'll see.
Yeah. Because
I'm not sure what her availability is going to be, but she's a great kid. Well, I say kid. She's in her 20s now, but yeah, she's a fine person.
But to be so young and have that kind of capability is something else. I mean, that's phenomenal, right? I mean, you've got the work, the effort, the dedication. You know, I've often said talent is great, but without actually working to improve your skills and have dedication, talent means nothing.
Correct.
So talent is the icing on the cake, but the cake's got to be baked, right?
That is correct.
You guys agree with that? I mean,
Yep.
A lot of talent lost.
Very much so.
With the lack of doing what you're supposed to. Okay, what else is in the cans, Chad?
The county commission has set their maximum mill levy and is going to notice that they are going to exceed the revenue neutral rate. Still waiting on you guys to do that, but it's coming. And everybody's going to exceed revenue neutral rate. I mean, we talked about that one before.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about the county is that Don Schrader made a comment that he expects their budget to come in underneath the max mill levy that they set. It represents a 1 3/4 mil, 1.8 mil increase to last year, which on a $100,000 house is not a very much, to be honest. However, we've got multiple taxing entities, so your taxes are probably going to increase, and your evaluation has probably increased. So it's all,
It's all relative.
But he's got precedent for saying that it's probably going to come in below what they set, because that's what they did a year ago. It took them a while. It took them a long while. Yeah,
we can't go any higher than this, so let's figure out how we go lower.
Exactly. And they ended up last year passing a flat mill levy budget. Now that was due in part because evaluations went up almost 13%. So for those that don't understand how all that works, when your evaluation goes up 13%, or the evaluation that they're given, it goes up 13%, what that means is for the same mill levy rate, and at the end of the day, mill levy is a percentage of your evaluation. So for the same mill levy rate, they can collect more taxes. Yeah. It's pretty simple.
13% more.
So if I were going to set the price of something at 40% of 40% of the value of your house let's say you got $100 in your savings account, and I'm going to tell you that for the service that I'm going to provide, I need 40% of that. This year, you're going to give me $40.
Yeah.
The following year, if your savings account has gone up to $120, and I sit there and I say I'm going to take 40% of that, I haven't moved my percentage, but I'm now going to take $44 instead.
I got a question here.
So that's how that all works.
And to piggyback on this, because we've talked, the school board is looking at potential for a bond, so there's some information released, and then they're going to have to make a decision about the same situation, right? They're in the same situation as the city. They're in the same situation as the county. We hear people constantly say, I don't want to pay any more taxes. Don't raise my taxes. I've put it in my brain to say, I'm a conservative. I'm a fiscal conservative. That does not define me as someone who says, I believe in zero taxes. What it defines me as is to say that with the tax dollars that you receive, are you doing, in my opinion, right? Because it'd be my opinion,
correct,
or the public opinion, in public opinion, are you being a good steward of what you've been given, right? So I don't know if people really can wrap their head around this. And there is times, obviously, and I think in Newton's future there will be this opportunity when you have enough in economic development that you have larger tax base paying into the system. Therefore, as far as my personal individual property tax, less of that portion of money to make services operate and government to operate will come out of my pocket than it will, let's say, the industry or the commercial, properties that there are. So to me, it's hard for me to get my head wrapped around the fact that people are, and I don't know if I'm branding this, but anti-tax, right? It's like, I don't want to pay any more in taxes. Is there ever going to be a situation because of inflation and the need for services to be provided that cost more money that it's generally speaking something we'll see decrease?
No.
Because you take law enforcement, for instance. Law enforcement is a huge part of the budget, okay? If you want to maintain exactly the same everything you got, right? The radios, the cars, the amount of officers, the time worked, if you just say, we want to take a copy and paste from last year to this year, it's still going to cost more money.
Yes, because of inflation. You mentioned radios. I mean, we just went through that.
Yeah, we talked about it on the program.
And that was a no bid process because the bids were astronomical.
Well, you know what?
And they couldn't afford it.
There was a time we didn't have all that stuff.
Yeah, who needs air conditioning?
And
yeah, there was a time we didn't have radios for our police officers.
Yeah, we don't.
And that's why we lost Dufresne.
But you know what?
That's why he died on the street, because he didn't have a radio. He couldn't call in his medical emergency. He had to go running while having a heart attack. He had to go running down the street looking for a little phone box that he could use to call into dispatch.
Well, you know what? They have foam cups with strings on them.
We could do that.
Yeah,
Just
sure, we can do that too.
Telegram. I mean, if we go back to Telegram.
And then we also, in my time, we were worried about nuclear war. Those
we had the duck and cover drills,
those
man.
desks were just fine.
Yeah.
So these kids need all, no. Anyway.
Who needs a tornado shelter when we have a hallway?
You know what's interesting to me, and I could see the framing of this. I really can. Let's get in the shoes of some of the people that we're talking to or messaging to, and we're bringing this information to them, right? And sharing our opinions as podcasters in this realm here.
Our safe space.
Fred said something really interesting last night. He went and did a presentation to Rotary, all right? And did a great job, by the way. Guy's super passionate, just on his game, in his element. So many years of experience, so many hours of investment. It all comes out when he communicates. He's just a no BS kind of guy. I really like that about him. Until we're not getting along about something, but then we deal with it. Because, he's strong-willed too, but, whatever. I really do like the guy a lot. Because he just tells you what he's thinking. And he's moldable, even though he's confident and strong on the front end. But there was a guy that said he was at Walmart, and some lady came up to him, older lady with a cane, and said, "Hey, don't you work with the school district?" And he says, "It depends." Right? She says, "Yeah, well, I guess they were talking about the bond or the possibility of a bond at the new high school."
Mm-hmm.
Already. You can't get ahead of it.
The 50-year-old new high school.
Yeah.
But this is the frame of mind, though. Mm-hmm. We've got to realize when we're talking to people, because that is a clue that's going to happen, and that is happening. And that's a new high school to her. She went to that high school. It was the new high school when she went there. It was like, I guess messaging is so important, and understanding where people are coming to. When I was at that job site Monday, it was Monday? No, it was yesterday. Jeez, it was yesterday. I was on the job site, and the guy was talking about how this is a small project. in the scope of what he's already been through to get that facility to where it was, to where we're coming in at the tail end on the phase where they're getting parking lots in, we're putting signage up. He's already been through so much and had so much adversity and fought through so many change orders and this and that, and being innovative as they're building the building and talking to the budget guys, and companies don't show up that said they were going to. A lot of stuff happens when you're building something. For people that have never done it, it's tough. So we're coming in, he's kind of through the big stuff in his mind's eye. So when he says something about it's just a small little piece, you've got to realize his experience before you walk in that trailer and what you're looking at and how much work that took for him to get us there, right? So this is the perspective I would like for us to think about as we're talking to the community. It's like, what is their perception of what we're doing? And where are they caught at? Are they caught on a political national topic? Are they caught up with hating education because of what's going on in Washington and the few states that were doing some of the stuff that they were doing that we don't agree with, right? The gender identity stuff, or these extreme pockets of anti-American education, right? And it was happening. And some of this stuff was getting stewarded from the national level. But is that a Newton problem? And this is the thing we have to think about, right? Yeah. Where are they at? How do we meet them there? How do we listen to their concerns? And then how do we walk them towards what we're really focused on? And it just takes time, right? I'm already going to start meeting with people. I've already made some phone calls where I've got folders getting put together with all the information the board had, because I want to go meet with people and hand them a folder and ask their opinions and ask them for their concerns and ask them for what they like about it. I don't want somebody to be just all in all the time, and I don't want somebody to be all negative all the time. I want to hear all of it. What are the good, bad, and different things that you're seeing in this project, and what are your concerns? And what are the things you like? And I want to build on that. So after a dozen conversations that I will have over the next 2 weeks, that's a dozen conversations. I'm going to schedule 30 to 45 minutes each one. And then you got to get there.
Yeah.
Then you got to get back to whatever else you're doing.
And then process what was said and the whole thing.
And build it into a...
What am I hearing? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so...
Volunteering, boy.
Speaking of messaging, okay, I'm inclined to believe that, yes, the majority of people, like the nice lady that was talked to in the grocery store, okay, where the perception is such that because I'm seeing it from my viewpoint, it's a new school, even though it's 50 years old, okay? But there's a part of me, and we talked about this at the beginning, the marketing, like how are we going to do this? Well, we don't want our tax to go up, or we don't need this, or we don't need that, or scratch this off, or scratch that off. And then the way things are said, I don't know. I'm smart enough to realize that not everybody is as blunt maybe as I can be, and then make the mistake to be too blunt and walk that back. Versus, I don't have like this nefariousness, right? Where I want to craft a message as such that then I will be able to lead people into a direction that then becomes the result that I want. How much do you think that happens, Andy? Because I'm thinking that happens quite a bit.
It depends on where people are at and what their goals are. We have to realize that one of the big objections we're going to get is, I don't have kids in school anymore. Why should I have to pay? And those are people on fixed incomes.
Oh, Chad, he's pissed off.
Oh, I've got an answer for him.
But this is the stuff we're going to hear.
But yes,
and
I know we're going to
that.
I know we're going to hear that.
They're on fixed incomes, and
I can answer that question.
They don't have ability to go out and make like people like us can go find $100 in our network, go do gutter cleaning for a friend. We can pick up $100, like $200. Depending on what kind of world you live in, you can go and find $500 this month extra to get something done, right? And some people are like, what? And it's like, yeah, some people are like $2,000, right? Some people it's $50. But the problem is, or the what I'm trying to explain is, no matter what the number is, the number, let's just say X, right? Most of us able-bodied can go out and figure that out, go do some door dashing. I can go help my brother-in-law paint, right? We can do different things. Like, hey, I'm going to be short $150 this month. What do I need to do? We can go figure it out. Some of these people can't.
Correct.
And they're already, $20 behind every month. and they're feeling it every single month. Like they're locked down 4 or 5 days before that next check hits, and they're having to cover something they were behind on top of being anxious about how much they can't use to get through the next little segment. I mean, and then we're going to ask to throw only $8. It's like, dude, they're already behind 30 bucks a month. And you're going to add another $8 on top of that going forward. So it's not nothing. And I love that Fred wants to speak to that. But here's the thing for those people that are in that position, that it's really, you get blinded when you have to. Like I can't. I don't have the ability. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say, I don't have kids in school anymore. Why should I have to pay? It doesn't mean that they're not good people or they hate what we're doing or they forget that, hey, somebody else put your kids through school at one point, right? Yeah. But you forget that. And it's not intentional, but we have to be able to get them to soul search with the questions we ask. And I hope I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
We have to hear and understand where they're at and then ask them the questions for them to realize who they really are or what other people have done for them to get us to this point, because eventually it's going to be asked of us. And we are going to have less people paying in for us than we have now. And if you look at the Ponzi scheme, as one of my buddies calls it, of Social Security, right? And of what's going on there, and that system is not going to be able to sustain the drop in numbers, just like our school system won't with decreasing birth rates. This formula is broken.
Yeah.
And so there's a time when this is all going to come to a head and we're going to have to figure it out. And you know who's going to figure this out?
Our generation.
The kids we're getting ready to invest in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not investing in them, what do you think they're going to think about us?
Yeah.
When it's time to go to war for us?
They didn't invest in us, so why are we investing in
So
them?
we need to change our perspective and how we're raising even internally to our own households and our own families, because this world is about to change, folks. And the way it used to be done back in the day is family took care of family first. And then we went outside and we reached as far as we could. And churches were involved in all of that. And then government came in and started doing things a little differently and taking some of these responsibilities. And there was a time when that experiment seemed cool.
It worked. The formula worked with the amount of people that we had in the system. What it cost for
anybody
the system to operate.
Anybody who didn't see all of this coming after the baby boomers were born simply has not been looking. You know, I spent my morning looking at investment opportunities. And when I talk investment opportunities, where can I stash $100? I mean, I'm not talking big. And I'm still looking for one. I'm still looking for a publicly traded coffin company. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be a boom industry. It probably already is booming. Because the baby boomers, what's happening to them?
They're starting to pass away.
They're passing away. And when they pass away, they're going to need a coffin. And when they pass away, they're no longer on Social Security. And they've been retiring, so they're not paying into the system either. Same for Medicare, same for Medicaid. It's all of it. Heck, taxes. How are we going to fill in?
Chad just gave a piece of information that I think everybody should think about when it comes to investing $1. Because if you're looking for something to invest,
you want to invest in a car wash? No.
as cryptic as it is, Chad. I mean, I gotta laugh.
You probably want more than $100.
You caught me off guard.
I'm not qualified.
You caught me off guard, Chad.
But I'm serious. I mean,
I'm gonna have that impression and think the next 20 years is gonna be spilling around my mind. I should have invested in coffins, or vaults, or headstones, or granite, or yeah.
You know. And if you're living
diapers.
We
just lost some viewers there.
If you're living in a community whose cemetery is close to full, maybe you should consider buying a few plots of ground.
Yeah.
I mean, as horrible as that is, it is the reality. Okay? My parents, they're boomers. They don't have much time left. And people have got to wrap their heads around this idea. That generation, there was just so many of them. And just in sheer numbers, they've never been met. Ever. So when they're going away, what are we going to do in any and all of our systems?
Well, we're on for a reality check. No doubt.
Yeah, it's on the way.
It's
coming at us.
It's on the way. And look at that positively, folks. Well, we're talking about positive stuff today.
I never thought about the coffin thing, but I've been adjusting for a while.
Okay.
I'll put that in my pocket.
We're coming to the end. We did a flip of the program. We talked about other stuff first.
Sorry, bro.
And no, I mean, hey, you know what? Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Let it flow.
Is that the song? Yeah. Let it grow. Let it flow. I think. So, wind and snow. Why are we talking about that right now? It's 100 degrees outside.
Because we want it to be cooler.
Let it snow. Let it snow. Isn't that what it is? Okay, anyway, so you don't want me to
Fall's
sing.
coming, man.
I actually went to Moxie's the other day because on Tuesdays they have karaoke. I guess this will be my final word. And I was sitting there, and I just have this, I enjoy watching other people enjoy themselves. I don't know what that is. I'm such a relational person. It's like, for me, my birthday cake for me, present for me, watching somebody else have a birthday party while they get to enjoy their cake, while they get to enjoy their company, while they get to open up their presents. I don't know why. Just does something for me. Somebody's a psychologist, they can try to explain that. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. So, anyway, went to Moxie's. Was just trying to support local, support that company. It's a great place. They call it Moxie's Community Pub. I probably said this before. They have food trucks that go out there. They have things going on most all the time. And anyway, every Tuesday they have karaoke. And although I do not sing, I enjoy watching people get up there, whether they're bad or they're good or anywhere in between, and just sing their heart out, right? So I like to do that. Well, I had somebody come up to me 3 different times and say, "What are you singing? What are you going to sing? Write down on there what you're going to sing." And I told him every single time, just talking gets me in enough trouble. The last thing that I'm going to do is sing. Andy, final word?
Let it snow. No.
Let it grow.
So we kind of broke the seal yesterday. We've been on the path of organizing what a bond would look like probably for the last 6 to 8 months. Kind of humming around about it before that, of course, but we know we need to do something here. We've got some options on the table that we got presented to us Monday night. I'm getting some folders put together, and I'm going to be meeting with some people. But if somebody out there has questions, I'm going to be all about this. Over the next many months. I'm willing to meet with anybody about this topic, good, bad, or indifferent. I never tax people to I want everything that you're going to give me, because I'm just going to be willing to give whatever you need. And everybody in between, it's all important. But I will tell you that this investment is critical. I'm going to be leaning towards $60 million, just FYI, as we go into this, just knowing what's there and what we need to do. And that's hard to say out in the open because people are hurting right now financially. And I just want to ask for people to trust the process. There is a reason why that I put my name on the ballot again. And this is a big deal for our community and our kiddos and for the future of our district. My kids will be gone before all this is realized, just for everybody to understand that. Because I've got a freshman and an 8th grader. They'll be gone before this is all taken root. But it's not about them. It's about the little kids that I see at the junior railers just starting out. And for them to get to that high school and know they're going to have a different experience and different learning opportunities that we don't have available today. And if we're creative as a community and we work together and pull in partnerships, we can reduce the cost and get some of these things done a little differently and make it all work. But we're just going to have to work together. But the first ask is we're going to have to unlock that $60 million for our community. And I hope that enough people want to come along with us to get that done.
Chad?
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. And remember, because I already did the final word, since you're the last one doing the final word, you got to point directly at the camera when you're done and say, have a good week, everybody.
Final thought is that I'm when I go home today, I'm going to update my funeral plan because I want Lance to sing Highway to Hell as I'm carried out of the
You can't be serious. You do not want me to sing. They'll be like, oh my God, this is the worst funeral
If
ever.
it takes me to die to get you to sing in public, then that's what it's going to take.
Can I at least be one of the pallbearers?
Sure.
This is like rattle you up and down in your coffin on the way.
He don't know what's going on.
So,
he don't care. Kid don't know what kid heard.
In actuality, I told my wife. I told my wife the other day, I said, I'm updating all my plans. And I said, but for pallbearers, I want you to call one particular human being. I want you to have him arrange who they are because he will understand what I'm going for when I say I want Highway to Hell on the way out of the church, and I want every one of my pallbearers to carry me with one hand and walk out this way because it's a party, folks. All right, we're going to celebrate when I go. I know where I'm going. Heaven forbid it's not hell, but I know where I'm going, and I want people to understand I know where I'm going, and when I go, be happy. Because I am going to be in a much better place than this place has ever been or ever will be. Despite the fact that when I announced my goal of presidency of the United Way Board, that we would make Newton the greatest place on earth. But even the greatest place on earth cannot rival where I'm going. So there you have it. Now, what was it again?
Gotta look right at the camera and say,
have a great week, everybody.
Boom.